What's caking, everybody? It's Vernique, and today I'm going to show you how I made this Harry Potter cake. So if you're ready like I'm ready, let's get caking. Now this video looks a little different because I went back home to visit my family and I was at my parents' house for this cake. But starting off the same way, I made two 8-inch round red velvet cakes and two 8-inch vanilla cakes that I added yellow food coloring to. Trimmed off the tops and stacked them with buttercream, alternating the colors. For this cake, I won't be covering it in fondant, so after I crumb coated, I let it chill and frosted it with a thick layer of buttercream and took my time making it as smooth as possible, and I let that set up in the freezer. While my cake sets, I started on the fondant decorations for the sides and the top of the cake. For the scarf around the bottom, I rolled out red fondant and cut it into 3x3 squares and did the same for the yellow fondant. Then I cut out 2 pieces for the ends of the scarf. For the golden snitch, I took some gold fondant and formed it into a ball, and then I rolled out some more of the fondant and traced out wing shapes, and I used a fondant tool to add a little bit of detail to it, and then I cut those out and inserted some toothpicks so that I can attach them to the snitch later. And to add a little more detail to the golden snitch, I extruded out some gold fondant into strips and attached those to the ball. Moving on to the glasses, I just cut out rings from black fondant, and then I cut a small piece for the bridge in the middle and shaped it a little bit. And for the temples, I just cut out some strips from the black fondant and bent the ends, and then I crossed them and set everything aside. And to finish off the look, I cut out a lightning bolt to place above the glasses. I wanted to replicate the letters Harry kept getting from Hogwarts, the ones that flew around the room. So I used the puncher to cut out squares and shape them into like rectangles, and I used the punch to make an indent, and then I strung them onto the wire, and I did that for 4 of the wires. Like I said earlier, I was visiting family and my sister wanted to crash the video. But moving on to the wand, I just took some modeling chocolate and formed it around some more of the wire and used a fondant tool to add a little more texture and detail. And then I set that aside with everything else to let everything firm up. Once everything's set, I started to assemble the cake, starting off with the scarf, and I alternated the colors of the squares and put them around the base. And for the ends of the scarves, I attached them kind of overlapping, and I used a fondant tool for the ends to make them look frayed. Moving on to the top of the cake, I started off with the snitch and put a toothpick into the cake just to make it more stable. And then I put the glasses off to the side with the lightning bolt on top. And for the letters, I pushed the wire into the side of the cake so that they swoop over the cake, and I just put the wand between the letters and the snitch. The last thing was the birthday sign, and I started off using the gold fondant, but it was a lot of gold on the cake, and so I redid the sign with red, but took the same steps. I just cut out the fondant, rolled up the sides and shaped it, and then used some black icing to ice out happy birthday. And there you have it, my Harry Potter cake. If you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.